Hi, welcome to another episode of Family DynamiKs with a K. It's Liz.
Hi, Liz. It's Katherine.
Hey, I'm here today. It's younger sister Virginia.
And John.
The youngest. Well, okay, so hi, everybody. Now, we are heading rapidly, and some of you already are there, into what is considered summer vacation, especially if you have kids of a certain age, which, sorry, John, three of us do have kids that, well, Sarah's in school.
Online school, college, yes.
Right. Virginia and I have grade schoolers, although mine graduates 8th grade this year.
That's crazy.
Is he doing any camps this summer, or is he too old for that now?
I wish he would do summer camp. I found two that could be options. One is like a young Spielberg summer camp.
Oh, that's cool.
Right at Pierce, right?
Yes, but he's pushing back against anything I suggest right now. And a shout out to all the moms with kids in their hormonal teen years.
He just wants to sleep all day.
Oh, that would be his druthers. And then get up and do what he wants to do.
It's 50-50 because on one hand he wants to do nothing, and on the other hand he's like, what are we doing again and again? Why wouldn't we do 4 things today?
Especially during the windows, yes, of 1 o'clock and 10 p.m.
Oh, Lord.
That's his window of full
sweet spot.
functionality.
I have a question. Does he also do that thing where teenagers automatically reject whatever you suggest? Is that part of it?
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So he has been doing theater for years. Now, COVID upended some of that, but he still even did a theater camp one of the summers during COVID. And we went to his high school sort of pre-sign up to show how you would sign up for classes. And they have this amazing theater program. We have gone to go see plays there before he was going to go, so he could kind of see and be excited by it. And here comes the electives, and we're asking questions like, oh, this elective will be your whole freshman year, so kind of choose wisely. And you pick the top 4 choices, but I automatically think he's going to do what is kind of their theatrical or performing arts umbrella. And theater is one of the options in it. And it's I'm like, oh, so put down theater arts as number 1. He goes, why would I do that?
Oh, Lord.
Is it, maybe I don't want to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Based on evidence, I would have thought that you would, because you seem to have been interested
You want the
in it
business
for
track?
all.
You have to
all
understand.
time. Yeah.
Foreign language is also under the electives. I signed him up for after-school Spanish classes. This jerk has managed to be sick almost every single Tuesday for the last... am I wrong, John?
Maybe it's psychosomatic.
It's been very rough.
So the few times he's gone, I've been like, hola, ¿cómo está? He's like, shut up.
Muy malo, madre.
Yeah, I mean, it's not sinking in. So then when, maybe I want to take a language. I'm like, oh, the language class I just paid for that you did not go to? Okay, but then, of course, you're in this classroom with tons of other families and parents, all probably going through similar dynamics behind you, but you're just smiling like, okay, whatever you'd like, dear. We don't have to decide right now. We can take this home. No problem, no problem. So then he also said, maybe I want to do stage tech. I'm like, so you wouldn't want to be in the front of the theater performing, you'd want to be behind. Maybe.
Why are you even writing him out on this? Why are you even so negative?
It relates back to, he's going to do theater camp. So
This summer.
So yes, ideally he would prefer to do probably nothing, but like John said, I will need to have some things organized.
Does he have any Boy Scout camps this summer?
Yes, they go away on some big, it's off of Catalina Island, which for those of you who listen outside the state of California, that's off our coast. It's beautiful. John, you did that camp, right?
Yeah, so on Catalina Island,
Okay.
which is off the coast of California.
Thank you. That's all you're going to contribute? I mean, didn't you go to it?
Yes, I went to it.
Well, what was it like?
It's pretty great. He's already been, so
He's a veteran.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun. I don't know. You think of it differently as an adult now because you realize there are multiple Boy Scout camps on Catalina.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I would have assumed just one hub.
Nope, because they're organized by your sort of council, which is your county type area. So we eventually did camps that were not associated with our local council. And, I didn't quite realize it as a kid, but you're like, oh, yeah, when you're going to Oregon, that's not related to who you guys are.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And, some camps, you weren't really paying attention. I don't know, other times there were kids from somewhere else, I don't know. And then we also did just our own. I don't even know how they organized this.
But was it fun? Did you like
That's not
kayak,
important, Virginia. I don't want to
hike,
talk about that. No, yeah, it's great.
sleep under the stars?
It's tough because, right, kayaking and all that stuff in the ocean is like, well, the ocean is a little tough for kids. But it was great. I didn't end up doing any of I did kayaking, rowing, and canoeing like at a different camp on a lake. But we went out in the ocean. I think I missed out. I only went once, I believe. And I missed out. There is a canoe trip where you then sleep somewhere else. So you like canoe to another place.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't go to that. For some reason, just our troop didn't do it that year. But it was great. I did do something I did almost every summer camp I went to, which was the Polar Bear Club, which is also not what it's always called. But that's what we called it.
Jumping into freezing water?
Yeah, at like 6 a.m. That was the whole goal.
Oh,
so you got to get up
just
extra early to get in super cold water.
There's no
Great.
way Ethan's doing that.
But you got a special patch. And I don't know. It was one of those things. I don't know how I got myself.
Where is your sash? I need to see that. Why isn't it like framed in your room?
I know, true. Though, see, different than Girl Scouts, the sash ends up being mostly just your merit badges, as opposed to your camp badges or like other.
Where do those go?
Sort of nowhere.
Yeah,
put 'em on
Ethan's
a
got
bag.
a bag of them that should be sewed onto something.
You can have
somewhere.
like a jacket kind of a deal. Not
Wait, what are the different badges? So there's merit badges. What are the different badges? I don't understand how
Well, right. So
different they are.
Merit badge is like, okay, I'm doing a canoeing or woodworking or something, and it has these 10 requirements that you have to
They're
do
more
this.
legit.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure. They're earned. They're
yeah.
considered more earned.
Sure. Some of them are more important than others. There's kind of elective versus required, especially as you go towards Eagle Scout. So separately, there's the badge you get to like going to a camp. Like, okay, so this camp's called Emerald Bay on Catalina. So you're going to get a patch for that camp that's, 2022 Emerald Bay, blah, blah, blah. And, it's a different design every year. And,
It's like memorabilia, or we call them fun patches. So I would say like the badges go on the front. Those are the earned ones, and all the fun patches, which you could literally look up anything like blowing bubbles, like sneezing. I don't know. There's everything. I just looked up. We're donating stuff. Another troop is collecting donations for Ukraine relief. I looked it up. Sure enough, there's a Ukraine relief. So to encourage my troop
Badge?
yes.
Oh.
No, not badge. Fun patch.
patch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun patch. So in other words, to encourage them to donate, they say, hey, if you donate something, I'll get you a Ukraine relief fun patch and put it on the back.
Yeah, just to give a
on the
little,
back.
background. Virginia is the Girl Scout leader
Oh,
of her
boy.
daughter's troops.
Yes.
And takes it seriously.
Well, it's payback because my best friends growing up, their moms were the Girl Scout leaders. It was mostly Kathy's mom, but also Bridget's mom helped quite a bit. But Kathy's mom, and I'm like, payback. She did it for me, so I guess I'll do it for these girls.
How nice.
Yeah. So at one point, so I've talked to her about it a few times, but at one point I was like, so do you have like pictures from our troop growing up? Oh yeah. So she sent over this album of just tons of pictures from our troop growing up. So I just took pictures with my phone of all the pictures. That worked. So I have them technically.
And was it Brownies into Girl Scouts?
Yes.
And
they're-
now it's daisies, right? Daisies instead of brownies.
Oh yeah, because the Girl Scouts can make more money. Let's start them earlier.
But I want to know.
Wait, was brownies a different
it's a
thing?
specific year.
Yeah, brownies. I started in second grade, which brownies still does. So daisies, they just started kinder in first grade.
Oh, I didn't realize that it
so
was
Daisy,
okay.
Brownies, Girl Scouts.
No, well then it goes there. So they're all considered Girl Scouts.
Okay.
So the levels are Daisy, Brownie, Junior, and then it will be Senior, Ambassador.
What?
Is there an equivalent to the Eagle Scout in the Girl Scout world?
Starting at junior
Yes.
year, they can earn a bronze award. So they have
Oh.
to do like a leadership journey, and then they do like it's a service project with so many hours, which my girls were juniors at the time, Morgan's troop. So I came up with, it was during COVID. Our entire year was online meetings. And so what I did is I buddied them up with Lauren's troop, who were homeschool kindergartners at the time. And I said, you are going to do a service project one-on-one. You're going to reach out to that kindergartner Girl Scout and help them with homework, hang out with them, entertain them, because they're not going to birthday parties. They're not in sports teams. So they made videos for them. We sent them little packages. Like it ended up being pretty cool. And they still have some little bonds from it. Like when Morgan sees her little buddy Maddie, she's like, oh, there's Maddie. And Lauren has a connection with her buddy Addison. One girl went above and beyond. Like they met every week online. So yeah, they had a good time. So then the next level, they earn a silver award, and then the final one is a gold award. So the gold award they get in high school, so that would be the closest equivalent. I mean,
Yeah.
it I don't think it's anywhere as rigorous. It's not a direct comparison, but it's
and during your tenure as leader of the Girl Scouts, they changed the rules for the Boy Scouts and made it Scouts that girls could join now Scouts.
Yes,
so did you have kids leave your girls leave your troop?
I did, which I immediately, if the parents felt bad, I said, no. I've always said Girl Scouts is an opportunity to just have fun and, the same things your parents are trying to teach or your school is trying to teach, but it's just an opportunity to, do fun things together and learn things and grow, become more confident, build character, that kind of idea. And Boy Scouts is the same thing. Mm-hmm. So if it works better for your family, and to be honest, like, people always ask me questions and it's like, it just depends on your troop leaders. I mean, how active they are, how much they do. St. Mel's has an awesome group of parents that are very active in planning hikes and campouts. I'm like, I can't provide that much. So, yes, I think 3 or 4 of my girls went over to Boy Scouts and they're having a blast. They're hanging out with Ethan.
Yes, believe me, I knew there was a camp out that there was a transition at some
Ethan
point.
said they keep them very separate.
Yes, because, my son is an 8th grader, so there's hormones. So there definitely became there's girls joining and they're younger and all they like to do is like tease and tell on the boys. Like they were saying a bad word or, they were being really loud.
I just wish they would have changed the name to Scouts. It's like,
I thought they did, John.
because if you say Boy Scouts, no, it's BSA. The B still stands for boy. So,
I have seen the BSA, but I did think
So you can just call them Scouts, but if you call them Boy Scouts, like, oh no, we're not Boy Scouts anymore. It's like, well, what does the B stand for? Because you are.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. Well, John, so you went on to get your Eagle.
Yeah.
And did you do that during the summer or was that a school year activity?
I mean, look, it's a weird culmination thing. You're working on it for a long time. I actually, one of the very important, leaders that I had was the leader that you had's husband.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mr. Rizza. Leonard.
Mr.
He's
Rizza.
so great.
He was the best. Because their youngest kid was 2 years older than me, I'm pretty sure.
He's older than you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought he was younger.
You're insane. So he had been in the troop, and so therefore his dad was involved and was a leader, and so then he hung around and helped for a while, even after his kid was gone. Although that last maybe year, there was a different troop leader who was a very great guy as well. I actually did my Eagle Scout project part of it was at his house.
What was it, your project?
It's such a strange, the whole thing is very strange, but the project portion ended up being somehow I don't know if I really knew this park ranger very well, but somehow I had kind of met this park ranger at one point and I reached out to him because you kind of have to find a project. So sometimes our brother James, for his sons, their troop is very related to their church. And so therefore they can kind of ask the church they do things related to the church or things related to the troop. We didn't really do that, which makes it only harder. So whatever, our choice. But so I had reached out to this park ranger, is there something I could do? And somehow we kind of came up with this idea of you could do a trailhead kiosk kind of a deal for just ones that don't have them.
So you built it?
So we built 3 and then we put in 2.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you built 3. I've hiked past the one you built.
One of them is right on
there.
Yeah, Topanga Canyon Boulevard, I don't know. We just call it Topanga Canyon at that point. There's a big, cutout. That's a dirt parking lot off the street, and a little bit in. There's one right there, and then there's one that's also. They're both on or near Topanga. One is, it's this. There's a development, so it's 2 blocks in, and then there's a trail.
So, did you cut the wood and then did you carve the letters in the wood?
Yeah. Well, so here's the other thing. Theoretically, it's leadership, right? So, I'm not supposed to do anything. I'm just supposed to make sure that other people are doing what they're supposed to do.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Delegation, my favorite.
Leaders lead by doing it sometimes. I have found.
Okay. But well, right. But whatever. It's just as opposed to because, a lot of your things are doing something.
You're not supposed to just solo make this thing.
Exactly.
All right.
So yeah, not a great explanation, but Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we had to get the whatever little blueprint. I mean, they're not super complicated. And then we got someone to donate the wood, and then we had all these kids cut it and put it together, and then we transported them, and then we had to dig the holes and put them in and do the cement. So yeah,
paint. I think I stopped by with lunch. I was assigned. You asked me to bring snacks at one point or something.
Oh,
And I was like, "What?
You
is
definitely-
going on?"
oh, his backyard was great because it was he has this huge backyard, and there was a trampoline. There's all of us doing this thing, and then his back he had a bee, greenhouse. It was crazy.
Well, I do remember the award ceremony, kind of.
Ugh,
I think it started in the church, and then it went to the auditorium.
Well, yeah, there was whatever. The ceremony ended up being in the church, and there was a reception after. It was completely
And Liz,
ridiculous.
you totally planned that reception.
Oh
You did
my
a great
gosh!
job.
Okay, all right, yeah. So the Eagle Scout is a big deal. So yes, there is a sort of a ceremony in the church, and then there's supposed to be a reception. And it's
should have been nothing.
That's not my nature, John.
What was it? John and
There's some
there were other
saltines.
boys, right? It was a couple.
no.
it was just John.
There were boys there.
Oh, okay. They were there, but
no,
it was just your ceremony or
his,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's he loved all that.
He loves the
attention.
spotlight.
I mean,
so
it was,
much.
It's in a similar but very different way to the Eagle Project. It's it was me up on the stage, and then people talking about me.
Oh,
so
God.
I just
So
sat there
awkward.
while people talked.
Do you remember?
About
I remember Tony Delgado. Talking.
Oh, yeah,
he's
yeah.
the only one I remember.
Yeah, that was very sweet.
But you had done a nice job decorating.
Oh yes, we're lucky we didn't get shut down for copyright infringement because I came up with the great idea of the Norman Rockwell Scout series, which is
Oh.
Wow.
awesome, iconic.
Make it more complicated. Good.
Right. Yep. Because I leaned into the red and green theme. And then I thought, Norman Rockwell had done these images, which I think he maybe possibly even donated over time, but these iconic Boy Scout images over the years. So I went to Kinko's and was like, I want to blow these up to poster size. I mean, I was cute and blonde back there. Yeah. Well, I'm still cute and blonde, but I was younger. So the Kinko guy is like, you're going to have to come in after hours because if we do these any larger than the page size, it can consider copyright infringement because you're basically then making free posters. But if you come in after hours, my supervisor's not here. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So
Oh,
then I go
geez.
back and I'm like,
bring me a frozen yogurt.
pretty much. It was more like just hang out. Back then I was probably wearing a crop top going in there too. Who knows? I mean, so he says the largest size we could put through and not get caught. It was all these weird things, and it was, it was very. Let's just say this is something like Ed would do. All right, I'm going to break the rules, but with closest parameters of it. So it's you're not going to put this through the poster machine because if we put it through the poster machine, they have some way of tracking all that paper. Where the other paper, whether it's by 12 by 18 or whatever, like a mini poster. And then when I realize what each one's going to cost me, but I can't get out of it now because I have back then it was Kinko's were 10 cents a copy. I'm like, these are going to be $8 a copy or whatever it was dramatically different than what I thought a colored copy from Kinko's would be.
Well, let's just get the visual right too. It was not the crop top era. It was definitely the overall construction boot era.
oh,
Don't you think?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, what year was it, John? Do you remember? I want to say 2000 because I feel like I was pregnant with Sarah at the time. Is that
It kind of it mostly all timed out to that senior year. I feel like it was 2001, but
okay?
So close.
it was in that era.
James came from out of town, and the funny thing is, remember he rented a convertible Mustang because he was in California.
Was that trip? Oh my god!
I think it was.
I mean, that's amazing.
He was literally in town for one night. And I just thought he randomly got that, but he's like, no, I got it on purpose. I was like, oh, okay.
He's allowed to have fun.
living it up.
But yeah, I remember being a very nice put together in the old auditorium at St. Mel's because the new one I don't.
No, it's not. Look, that's the only auditorium that should exist. It is still the auditorium.
No.
The other thing is named something else. And
Oh, the
that
hall.
is lame.
The family center.
Happy
Yeah.
Hall.
Activity center.
I know,
activity
which we
center.
shouldn't have even said because it's lame.
Oh my gosh, you fuddy-duddy LA. But I mean,
now every room has a name, and I really do want to know them and get them right.
but I
Wow.
do think I purposely, somewhere in Mom's house, because not a lot of things get thrown away, I think there are very
Ooh.
valuable John, find them, your Norman Rockwell posters from that event.
That would be surprising.
Oh, and then I did this trick where to make them even larger, I then put them on boards, I think. So maybe that's why the boards didn't survive. I put them on big poster board. I mean, what was I thinking, people? But it all tied together.
I was put a lot of effort in. It was very nice.
Okay, one question I have for you going back to summer in Emerald Bay.
What? No, we're off that.
No.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Because when Ethan goes on these camp trips, Boy Scout camping outdoor, there doesn't ever seem to be a shower or bath.
Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes you don't. You definitely can. There's generally, yeah, I mean, it's sort of a choice by each boy.
I mean, you did the polar bear jump, so at least you were rinsing off in the ocean.
Swimming.
Yep,
Yeah.
And frequently you were kind of like, well, then you maybe rinse off right after that again.
I don't think that's happening.
It's each boy, and yes, the younger boys are maybe less good at doing that.
The other thing that doesn't seem to have, it's going to get a little crass, so I'm sorry if this offends people. He will come home. It's like, I haven't taken a number 2 for like a week or something. 'Cause there's always some weird, like the bathrooms or this, that, or whatever. And,
Well, look, you got to get over it because
Lord.
some of these camps, I mean, he hasn't even really gotten to that point of like sort of backpacking and other things where it's like, oh, now you're talking
Wilderness.
about, yeah, it's like
Dig a hole.
oh, my.
it's a wood porta potty. Basically.
I think he's going to
What?
faint.
Oh.
I do not think he can handle that.
I've done backpacking
No.
where there's
A shovel.
nothing. Yeah, shovel.
That's what I asked Brian when he
Oh,
wanted to go
jeez.
backpacking. I was like, I don't understand. Like, how do you go to the bathroom? He's like, you bring a shovel. I'm like, okay, I don't want to know.
You beep
But
in the
when
woods.
we went backpacking, his dad planned an amazing trip where they did have a wood outhouse,
Yeah.
and it was really cool because you took a staircase up to it, and it had like some
That's to
fossil
get everything
fuel
moving,
building.
man.
I mean, it went way down.
Yeah.
So that was very nice.
What do you, wait. They had a huge staircase up to the outhouse?
Yeah. So then when the hole went all down a whole case, that thing didn't smell at all.
It was far
wait,
away.
Wait a minute. This is like old Roman times. So you'd hike up to the outhouse.
Well,
You would do your business and go out the backside just down some mountain. What are you
No,
talking
it's
about?
going in a hole in the outhouse, Liz.
So just, right. So just
But a deep hole.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're like, it just woo and away, didn't smell. I'm like, is this like Roman times and
there
you're
was
just hanging out
probably
there in a building?
I'm sure there was like a door on that bottom floor where there's some maintenance person.
Oh my
I'm sure it
God,
was
the
a
worst
receptacle.
job ever. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it
What?
was contained.
Liz, every outhouse or porta potty has that job.
Oh,
So-
God.
And that's why when you complain about your job, there's always a worse job. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, more
Anyway, so well, just to wrap up that topic. Look, I think I did that at various camps, but then you get older
Oh,
and all of a sudden
God.
you can't do that anymore, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm over it now.
Oh, well, we'll be.
So-
He is. So that's Ethan's big summer plan. I think the Spielberg camp, I was shocked. I think it's for a month, which I'm like, oh, it's gonna be torture for me to get him up.
and it's like all day or something.
Yeah.
You were
and
just complaining about having him not have anything to do.
No, the problem is I think it overlaps Emerald Bay, so he'd miss the
How
whole
do you
week
guys
of.
always do that?
It's because that's
It's
just what it
unavoidable.
is. Yeah,
Not-
and so I don't know. I mean, this is the best. He did come to me with a brilliant idea. He goes, Mom, I want to be a junior counselor at the camp that he used to go to. I was like, oh
Really?
my gosh, how ambitious. Now, this is rooted in way back when he was maybe 2 summer camps in a row. He went to a surf camp. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the first year, they put him on this bus. It looks like a blown up limousine. I mean, I was like, wow, this is really highfalutin summer camp compared to what I went through. Camp Maria
we'll
Stella.
have to do a
We
chat
need
about
Rosemary
that.
here
Yeah,
for that.
We need Rosemary
We
for
need
that.
Rosemary
chat.
here for that. So, and he's got a little backpack, and he's got his rasher, his swim shirt, and his swim shorts on, and you just send him off, and it's you dip them practically in oxide to make sure they don't get any sunburn
Sunscreen,
because
yeah.
they're so white and they're gonna be in the sun all day. And every day he'd come home, oh, I loved it. It was great, this and that. And he would smell like the ocean, and he would have sand in his hair, so all great.
no.
Now, at the end of that summer camp, they have almost a day that, for those of you who are probably too young, but there was a movie called Gidget, and there was where it was like everything like a big beach party, right? It's just like the best. Like there's a big barbecue and surfboards
And dancing?
and dancing. So the end of the year party was like that. I'm like that. This is amazing. So next year I sign him up. He wants to do it again. Great. And my girlfriend's son goes there, and he's a year younger, but he's there as well. So here comes the end of the year party again. And Mark and I are staying there. And my girlfriend's son wins like the overall, like the junior surfer award. Now there's multiple levels, but he was that good. Now he is sort of like, at that point, he's like short and stocky and so strong. And it was like, man, you could probably plant yourself on a surfboard. Nothing could knock him off of it. So great, Carson. And Ethan's like, he's great. He's great. This is so great. I'm like, oh, am I going to ever see you surf? I mean, you're Southern California dude, and I'm paying for these summer camps. Oh, no, I don't want to do it today. No, I don't want to do it today. And I bought a boogie board. I think we even had like some little styrofoam surfboard for him those 2 summers. I don't know. I just never saw him surf. So I don't know. Some counselor came up to me and they had names out like Hang Dog and like Sunflower and like Riptide. And you're like, okay. So like Riptide came up to me. He's like, man, Ethan's the best. And I'm like, oh gosh, that's surfing. He's like, no. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? He goes, oh man, no. Ethan's never liked to surf. I'm like, never. No, he didn't do it last summer either. I'm
Oh my God.
I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, he's so great with the younger kids, man. I mean, he gets here in the morning with us. And he helps them set up the chairs, the umbrellas, the towels. And then all day, man, he's willing to do the sand drips, the sand castles all day with the younger kids. And then, man, we basically tell Ethan, stop to get on the bus. Stop helping us clean up. I'm like, so what the hell? I've been paying for 2 summers for my kid to basically be a junior counselor at like 9 years old. This is the 2 people that were like high-fiving. The 2 age groups were high-fiving at the end of the camp. It was like the little kids and then all the counselors. None of his peers, because that's never what he hung with.
Oh my God.
And I said, Ethan, so did you never go in the ocean? Oh, no.
Oh, my
It's
God.
very cold, and I don't really like sand. So the next year, I'm like, well, you're not going to that camp. So I find this other camp that we would have died to go to this camp, Keystone Camp as a kid. It just is like, it's out of your... And the Boy Scout Camp Emerald Bay. What is that favorite Wes Anderson movie? We talked about it on our...
Moonrise Kingdom. It's nothing like that.
Yes, it is. That's what I envision.
Well, that's why it's a movie, because it's fake.
Moonrise Kingdom, the Wes Anderson movie. There's a Boy Scout undertone to it and this camp that it makes you want to go to camp. So Ethan's Keystone Camp is more like the day
Pigeon
camp.
Scout. We've got a badge for that.
Pigeon Scout. So I was like so excited. Same type of thing. Gets on the bus, goes there. He seems to have a good time. I think he went like 3 or 4 years. So this year he comes to me and he's too old. Really at 14, there's not a day camp level for them. There's a junior camp level. I thought, oh my gosh, that's great. Now I'm thinking
Junior counselor or junior camp?
Probably counselor in training.
Counselor in training. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's so great. There'll be a discount or we're not going to have to pay because he's going to be working. No.
You still have to pay.
I'm going to pay the total tuition for the summer for him to go work at camp. So I was like, that's not going to work. I go, when you turn 16, you can apply there to actually be a counselor. And he's like, well, what would that mean? I go, well, I think you'd have to get up and go and be there by like 8 a.m. and stay till 4 o'clock.
It would be a job.
But we'll see. But so I don't know beyond Emerald Bay where he'll not take a bath or a beep for a week. I mean, I don't know what he's going to be up to. Oh, you know what? We'll save it. There was another camp that he did go to with Rosie's 2 sons. Because when you send your kids off to camp, most of them...
Because that was a sleepaway camp. It was close, but it was sleepaway, right?
Yeah, sleepaway was a little like...
Yeah, Morgan did her first sleepaway camp last year for a week. Brian had kind of pushed me to have her do it the year before. I was nervous about it, but she had a couple friends that were going, and then it got canceled because of COVID. So the second year is like, yes, absolutely, you can go. I was afraid she was going to come home dreadlocks, sunburnt. But what I didn't think about is what actually happened. She wasn't sunburnt. Her hair was fine, and she made it through whatever menu food they had. But I'm doing her laundry, which, first of all, I gave her a trash bag and was like, just put your dirty clothes in here as you go. No. But you could clearly tell what was still folded and nice. And I'm doing her laundry and I'm like, why is there only 1 pair of underwear?
Oh, God.
And so I go, Morgan, did you shower every night? She's like, well, not every night, because I said I would go last because I like long showers. So I let everyone else go first. And then sometimes by the time it was my turn, I was just too tired and I fell asleep. I'm like, yeah, I think you showered like 1 time, because she pretty much only changes her underwear when she showers, even though I have tried training both my girls. You change it every night, no matter if you're taking a shower, bath or not. Just change it every night. They don't understand. It's like, I know, but just do it.
Yeah, Rosie had to prep me for what that would look like. And it was like those large Ziploc bags, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, we didn't do that.
Yeah. But
Well, I don't know. You guys, maybe it won't happen with Baby Bird, but he's should theoretically learn to do some of these things on his own.
actually, I'm getting so burnt out that it's just starting to happen by default.
Well, he's old enough to do some of the stuff on his own.
Exactly. So I'm just sort of resigning myself to however it shakes out or happens, it happens. Mark has always been much more, let him do it on his own, let him figure it out. I'm getting much more on board because also here's the deal. It goes back to, when you have a teenager, they, as Katherine said, almost everything you suggest, everything you try to do for them, it's wrong or kind of push back up against, unless it's something they want. I mean, so yesterday was a perfect example of, oh, can my friend sleep over? Can I go to McDonald's? Can I order pizza? All this type of stuff. And, oh, thanks, Mom, I love you. Oh, thank you, Mom, I love you. And then today at about 1 o'clock, I'm like, you need to clean up that down with your friends. And quite honestly, they need to get out. I mean, like, I am done. What? Oh, like, I'm like, this sleepover, this day, they've been here for 24 hours.
Get
They're great
out.
kids. I really like them, but time to move on. And then they leave. And then, of course, I'm like, what about homework? I know what my homework is. I know what it is. Of course, on Sunday, I never knew I had that. I didn't know that was due tomorrow. Everybody goes through it. If you have teenage kids, how long and how extreme is what varies. So I don't have it that bad, but I had like, it's shocking when you have such a nice kid to all of a sudden be like, he is giving me attitude. He is pushing back, or he's really emotional.
Well, we were just talking, Liz and I, the other day about how independent we were.
Oh, God.
Because I was like, I was listening to your podcast about the sports, and I was like, why didn't I ride my bike with John to go see him play baseball? Like, now I'm so sad that I didn't get to see him play baseball. Why didn't Mom encourage us to support each other? The fact that she couldn't go, she could have said, you two siblings, go cheer your brother on.
Right.
But I've always said it just we were all just so independent. Mm-hmm. So a little different these days.
Well, I mean, we back independent summer days, and I just saw it, Topanga Canyon, where your trail marker was. You didn't ever do this, did you, Katherine? The beach bus.
Oh, God, yes, I
Oh,
did.
I never did the beach bus. No.
That was, one of the things that I figured out.
Oh, yeah.
somehow
You
or
were
another.
totally into it.
I had a summer job at a little grocery store in our neighborhood called Gary's.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Shout out to Jane Carroll, because I think she worked there too. I think I got Rosie a job there at one point. It was a passage. If you lived somewhere off of our street that our homes were on. I don't know if Dee Dee ever worked there.
I don't know, but I got my 10-cent Jolly Ranchers there. That's the infamous, I took John there, and he wanted to ride his big wheel. But then I had to carry him and the big wheel home.
What?
Because I was like, can I take John to Gary's? Because I've got 30 cents burning a hole in my pocket. We get 3 Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I want to take my big wheel there?
We made it home, but it was...
Yeah, no, I mean, I inflicted that. I mean, that's the other story is Ed and I riding our bikes to the Fallbrook Mall, and then, he had to tow me home.
He had to
Oh!
Yeah, it's too far. I was so excited. Couldn't handle it.
But yeah, and also you were kind of cantankerous at a certain age. So if you'd said, I cannot get home, there was no calling Mom and Dad to come pick us up. Yeah, older sibling would have to be like, how am I going to get John to budge and move?
I took breaks. I would be like, okay.
I think we're talking about cantankerous to start with. No, I will go, or I will go on my big wheel. Bad idea. But I feel like at the point when I can't do it anymore, that's more the little kid is
Falling
burnt
apart.
out.
Yes.
I don't know
That's
if
true.
that's
true.
But Liz, I did take that beach bus. Through Topanga Canyon was terrifying. And Bridget and I only took it that one time. I think I took it with you, probably. That's how I knew how to do it. So then I got Bridget to do it with me. And we totally didn't catch it on the way home.
I was just going to say, couldn't you accidentally not get on?
We totally did. And the amazing thing was, we're literally standing out the corner of Topanga and PCH. And I think...
How old were you?
Wait, so just for context, we live just a canyon drive through to the beach, which is, if Mom was driving back in the old days.
17 minutes.
Oh my God. With
It should be 25.
Oh God. With no seatbelts and a lot of twists and turns and everyone being very scared.
Our Grammy would say the rosary the entire ride over the canyon. She was terrified.
Well, because Mom...
It scarred my sister-in-law, Dee Dee, to this day.
Oh God. Mom for sure was a beach person. She would just be like, the valley is hot. Let's go to the beach.
Right.
But the bus, where did it pick up? And then it was just the drive and then take you to the beach and you'd get out and it would pick you up later.
Mulholland.
Yeah, Topanga and Mulholland, basically.
Topanga and Mulholland. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it was a quarter.
Although...
So kind of close to our house, but not super close. Did you walk to Mulholland?
Walk to pick it up.
It's strange because I think it starts maybe at Topanga Ventura, which would be closer. I don't know what you
That's
kids were
logical,
doing.
John, please.
All right.
But Gigi, then who picked you up and rescued you?
Bridget went to the payphone. I think she called her house, and maybe somebody at her house called her older brother, Rob. He came and picked us up.
Okay, because I am actually shocked in that era that anybody came and picked you two up.
He had a construction truck. It turns out I think he was possibly working somewhere over, I don't know. I didn't learn this till later because I was like, oh my gosh, your brother Rob, how convenient. He'll give us a ride. Yeah. But, yeah, it turns out she had made a call.
Oh, well, I mean, I took the bus quite often, especially with Rosie and my sister-in-law Dee Dee, who we grew up with. And we missed the coming home quite often.
Oh, really?
Then how did you get home?
Hitchhiked.
Oh, no. What?
Yep.
Oh, what? Okay.
Did you look for like a mom with a minivan? Or
We
what?
had our rules. Like,
Yes.
we're so smart. Now you look back
What
on
were the
I
rules?
was.
I mean, we should really talk about like all of the how are we
Bad
still here?
decisions.
Oh
I
my
know,
god!
it's just so it could not be a
Hitchhike,
guy.
I can't even, yeah, okay.
True.
No big cars, no vans, no station wagons, nothing big. We were just like, no, like all these wackadoos is all particular. So it could take us quite a while to get all right. You know, it's the female in a small 4-door car. And we sat in the back. This person was our cab driver. I mean, we were early Uber. We established Uber early on. And then we'd always get dropped off somewhere on Topanga, so nowhere near our house. And then we'd purposely walk the wrong direction for a bit. We really were, and we never said our real names.
Oh, God.
And then-
Oh my god!
So we're like, you're going to be Christine, you're going to be Linda. And, you know, inevitably we're messing it up the entire ride home. And it just was, I mean, I look back on it and I'm like, yes, we are very lucky nothing ever happened to us. But the beach bus still exists. You can still take it
Does
over.
it? What?
Yes.
Yeah, it's already gone.
Yep, it's already going. But the problem was the cutoff was kind of early. It was like
Isn't it
4
like 4 o'clock? Yeah, I was gonna say I never did it, but I felt like it was. You'd have to catch it at like 9.
They did not care if it was like, I know 2 young girls got on
Too
in the
bad.
morning.
Well,
I don't know where they are. Who
Let me
cares?
ask you this, because I
Yeah.
feel like now it's running on a schedule, quote unquote, but it runs multiple times. It's not like once out, once
Oh.
back.
Yeah, but you know me. I pushed it to the limit.
All
and
right.
then
Well, I didn't know if it used to be only once out, once back.
I feel like it was once in, once out, but I could be wrong. And it was very much a little
There was a
more-
last call.
There was also like a
Yeah.
little hippie dippy element to it. Like one time we were standing with like 15 other people. We were on time, and that dude just never came back.
Oh
So
no!
there might not have been as much reliability back then.
The bus probably broke down. It wasn't his fault. Jeez.
Absolutely.
I just abandoned these people at the beach.
Yes,
He had to go to
absolutely.
a Fish concert.
I mean, like, possibly. So, I mean, I'll be interested if Ethan or any of his friends bring that up because they are the exact
They
age.
should do it.
Well, actually,
Rite of
And those other
passage.
two are a little. They do exciting things.
yes.
What other
his
two? Are
neighborhood
these
friends.
neighborhood
Yeah.
friends? Okay.
Well, and they have cell phones. You should totally have them do it.
Oh, I mean, sorry, he's not going to listen to this. So I,
Definitely no. I mean, the amount of planning it will take on your side. I mean, it's not
They
worth
can
it.
just walk over Mulholland.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I agree with John. It might be quicker for me just to drive him there and back.
See what a different time. Okay, because we were talking about Camp Maria Stella, which I did go one year with Rosie, the like religious camp that was all girls, right? Maybe I skipped a year or something like that. My best friend Bridget, her and her brother had gone to a different camp, like a private Camp Cielo.
I think it still exists.
Yes, it was towards Santa Barbara. Mm-hmm. And I saved up my babysitting money, so those days we started babysitting early.
Oh,
So
yeah.
by the time
Could you imagine you're babysitting like,
It's like
a
a-
toddler at 12 years old or 11 years old?
I literally had the form for Bridget filled out and an envelope of money to ask mom and dad if I could go because they were against me going because it was co-ed and they didn't have mass.
Oh.
So I was trying to be like, guns loaded, here's the form. And I saved up all the money. And dad went for it because he's like, gosh, how can we say no to
Yeah,
that?
good
She
job.
How much do you think it was?
Saved, I was probably 180, but here's the real
For a
kill.
week?
So
Here-
self-motivated,
No,
Ginny.
here is the real killer. And it's one of my favorite stories with dad.
Oh, gosh.
Is Bridget, I don't know. I don't know if I read it on there or Bridget read it on there, but on the form, it said if you were a Dishie, you would get the second week. You would get the second week free, which we were like, 2 weeks of camp, we're in. Like we do dishes at home.
So what did exactly dishy
Well,
mean? I can see what it implied.
Actually, we did you did the Dishy the first week, and then we weren't Dishies the second week. So we get there, and I mean, no one told us anything. We just went in and we're like, we're the Dishies. So we wrote Kathy and our friend Courtney at the time into it too. So the 4 of us.
Oh, wow.
Which that's the epic drama is that Courtney at some point was like, I'm not doing it. My parents can pay for this week. Like she went to the
Send a check.
She did like one day. It was like, we're like, where's Courtney? She's not doing it.
She's out of the Dishy group.
So no, but literally there was no adult there. So they gave us one little training. They're like, okay, you sanitize in this, any scrubbing, and then you rinse and put it here to dry. And you can just leave it there to dry because you're just going to put it right back out in the morning. Literally all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
What? For how many people?
I mean, it was a decent sized camp. I mean, there was like these long tables, 12 of them cabins.
So
It was
like 100?
yeah, probably. Epic, right?
But there was no adult supervision?
So we got this initial training. We do it. Day 2, we're like, oh my God, my hands are like fried. So I went to the office and was like, we need gloves. This is the part Dad was like, you went to the office and asked for gloves? I said, yeah, we can't do dishes till we have gloves. And because they're like, they said, well, we'll try and get some. I said, well, we can't do dishes again till we get gloves. So they sent someone to get gloves.
This is the free labor, basically. Well,
We had to get up early.
Trade labor because you're going to get
Not only dishes, we had to like put it out in the morning. So we had to like
Get up
set
early.
our alarms at like 6 o'clock to get down there. Oh my God. So ridiculous. So
Wait a minute. At least this was the first week of your
The
camp.
first
So the
week.
second week, when no one knew you'd been
party.
dishy, you had the
No.
most parched hands in history. These
No, we got the gloves. They healed. They were all good. Oh, Kathy still laughs. there was one pot was so bad. She's like, let's just hide it.
We just throw it away.
It's still hid to this
It's
day.
gone.
Oh my God. And I was like, I'm on board with that.
Wait, you were doing pots, pans, and the dishes, glasses, silverware?
Are you kidding me? It's like, that's insanity. I mean, maybe we were 7th graders. Because, yeah,
So you
Morgan
were
is
12
6th grade.
years old?
So you look at like Morgan.
God.
So it looks like about Morgan's. I mean, technically we were capable. I mean, we did do it.
But I do believe you're capable. Mixed in with some supervision
God.
to make sure you guys are actually doing it
I
properly.
don't know if it's age appropriate that it
Well,
should
for
have
sure,
been
I doubt
We'd
it
also be like
exists today.
late to the activity after lunch, and I'm like, great, now we missed the.
So
you
did
know.
everybody treat you guys like, here comes the dishes?
No, I think they didn't know where we
I
were.
would completely write that into a script today. Like if you did a summer
yeah.
camp movie, the dishes have to exist, and when the
Dishes.
dishes are
And
late for
hide that big
everything,
pot.
and the dishes, and then the big pot for the end of
gloves,
the year meal
the
is
glove
gone. No one can find it.
negotiation.
The glove negotiation. Like, sorry, copywriting all of
I
this.
still
registered.
remember what they were like, these brown plastic. Like I envision those dishes.
Brown plastic.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
tan.
Yeah, that industrial plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You're outraged about everything.
Because John just looking like, yeah, that's just gotta do it.
Of course.
What were they supposed to be? Porcelain dishes? It's camp. I will say I was a camp counselor as well. I lucked out. Totally different program, but there was this Boy Scout thing where like, oh, you're gonna show up a week before and be a little counselor or whatever, help the counselors with the other troops. Yeah, well, we did the pre-week of camp, so there were no other kids.
Oh,
So
no, what were you
we got
doing?
to do, they basically, we had to do some stuff. There was actual leadership, so they would give talks and we would have to write down stuff. But then I got to do extra merit badges. It worked out great for us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It seems God, so would have been perfect for me to be a camp counselor. I didn't do it. William, our older brother, and James,
I remember James did
they were
camp. What was it?
Well,
Fire
Chiefs.
or something? Chiefs.
I actually think
He
he
did,
used our
James.
family van, which
He
now
did.
liability-wise, you're like, what?
He picked up campers, so he was a driver.
In our van.
Yeah. It was a day camp, I guess.
Yes.
Wait. So William.
William did the prestigious Viewpoint,
Correct.
which
Oh,
in
I
our
don't remember this
area
at
is a
all.
very.
Wait, what? Really?
William was at Viewpoint
As a counselor?
because William
Was
is,
Viewpoint even a school at that point?
Yes, but I don't know
Alright.
that it was a kindergarten through senior year in high school. I think it has expanded because you are going back 25 years or something like that. Now, because William was always savvy. William was the type that was like, well, if I'm going to do this, where's the best camp? James is the Chiefs was a little I
I don't even know how he ended up doing that.
who knows, but William was like, if I'm going to do this, it's going to be a fun camp.
It must have been a high-end camp because
It was.
One thing I remember about it is
If
one of the days they must have had McDonald's.
Oh my
because
gosh,
he
I
took
knew-
all the leftovers home.
I do
So there'd
remember
be
that.
but he would hoard them.
Okay, wait a minute. He also had Arby's sandwiches. in the room.
Arby's sandwiches, right?
And he'd bring home 7 of them. We're like, come on, let's nuke that sucker in that microwave that was
They were for him.
industrial.
Get the cork out.
Get the cork.
the cork to hold up the handle so that it would actually
So
work.
our grandfather, who was sort of in the sales arena world, our mothers talked about it on the podcast, had his finger on the pulse of like new technology.
He was kind of an early adapter type.
So
The science oven?
yes, the science of it. So it really
The
wasn't even a
science oven?
microwave.
Oh my God, did it say it on there?
No, that's
Oh, okay.
from what movie was that? American Hustle.
Oh, okay.
But I want to say it wasn't even, it was the early edition of a microwave. It was very
like
odd.
a radar range.
Yeah, it's just literally
A science oven.
So, and at one point, to close it and make it stick closed, it kind of had lost some sort of pressure to do
Yeah,
that.
the latch of the handle.
So of course, our mother
yeah.
had figured out like she cut a wine cork to the right height that you put it underneath.
Oh,
and then it would
I
hold it.
remembered a little wood block, but then it wasn't quite
that-
enough, so there was a blue rubber band around it.
Oh my
Oh
God.
yes, well I mean the radiation that was seeping out of that
Well, no, then you
science
step
oven.
away from it.
Oh yeah,
that's
don't
fine.
stand in front
No
of
one
it.
told me that.
Ginny's like looking into it an inch from the.
I figured out I could make bacon in the oven. It actually,
Oh.
you put like a brown paper bag and like paper towels, and it kind of worked.
Yes, that thing could zap pretty much anything. We had that thing far past its expiration date. But where was I going with this? So
So the Arby's sandwiches.
Arby's sandwiches. So William would
So
come
camp,
home from
yeah.
this prestigious summer camp where he was a counselor.
So who had these sandwiches? I thought James had the sandwiches.
No,
No,
James's
William.
camp wasn't prestigious enough to have
sorry, I guess I-
high-end food like
The
McDonald's and Arby's.
Okay, right. Now I get it. Now I get
By the way, I did get to go in person to James's camp. I don't know. I think maybe he invited me or I asked if I could go. I don't know. I was, again, probably like 7th grader or something like that. And yeah, it was totally at like a public park.
Yes, right.
And, they would just break up into groups. So I fully remember I went in this group and they were going to work on a dance number. It was a Huey Lewis song.
Oh.
And I
Oh.
totally got very involved helping choreograph it.
Ooh,
Huey
nice.
Lewis song.
Wait, so you were helping, not attending?
I was attending, but the girls were putting together a dance number and I felt like I really contributed.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Did you only go one day?
I just went one day. It was hot as hell.
yeah.
Why were we all? Because the other camp that I went to, or more like as a kid before Scouts, was Circle V. But you guys didn't go to that
Nope.
camp.
No, never
I mean,
even heard
Ed and
of
I
it.
did. But why were we all at different camps?
Well,
All
we
right.
have to talk about at one point that a lot of us ended up in different high schools too. So, that goes back to the independence we were talking about. There was an element that if you figured something out, whether it be the camp you presented to mom and dad or, there was not a lot of steering, directing you. It was like, oh, you
Not a lot
signed
of
yourself
super
up for a
oversight,
sport.
yeah.
Or summer, most of our summer there was a day camp up at just 2 blocks up, which was the public grade school, Woodland Hills Elementary.
I still have some ribbons from those competitions.
What? There was no pool there.
He was really big into giving out ribbons.
Coach John.
Oh, the Coach John. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
had sort of a day camp. Now I don't know if it ran the whole summer or just a couple weeks.
But you could just drop in.
We would drop in like, hey, local celebrities here. All right, we're going to give you a little bit of our time.
I was like, I can hula hoop.
yeah, we're like, what's going on? With the private Catholic school kids are here. What's going on? And we're going to do the watermelon carry. We're going to do the egg toss. We're going to do the water balloon. I'm not into that. I'm into that. All right, I'm going to dip out. I mean, like,
All right, Ethan. Yeah, I didn't get this camp.
Yeah, it would always be like, all right, should we go over Dee Dee and Mark's now?
yeah,
Well, they
let's-
definitely had classes because you could take summer classes. I remember I ended up taking.
Catherine Way. You're like, well, there was also educational
Well,
opportunities.
no. I mean, look, it was just an open playground, and the coach John was like,
Right.
wrangling kids and doing stuff. So you could just show up. But for sure, I ended up taking like an oceanography. Oceanography. I was like,
You're like,
how do you say-
oceanic?
I don't know what.
Who was
but
teaching that?
I have no idea. But I got suckered in because it was like, would you like to know how dolphins communicate? Can they talk? I'm like, yes. That's not what it was. I was like, this is like work. I don't
would
want
have
to
gotten
do
up and
this.
just walked out. I would have been like,
Yeah, wow.
no.
Oh my God. Well, in addition to the ribbons, wasn't there candy? I feel like he gave out.
Oh, there was. Well, okay, we have to talk about this
Uh-oh.
because Coach John, we were such a big chaotic family. A lot of people just got involved in our lives. He definitely started to hang out with our family at some point.
What?
Do you remember this, Virginia?
No.
Oh my God, I need Rosemary here. Because then we, of course, we had nothing but our imaginations most of the summer.
Oh,
so then we completely
God. You
spun
and
it out.
Rosie romanticized it. What?
Oh, for sure. Mom and Coach John were having an affair.
Oh, I thought you were saying maybe Kathleen or something.
No, that would be more logical. No, I mean, I need Rosie here to corroborate my story.
Which, by the way, that camp I had to talk mom and dad into because there was no mass. Mom did on a Sunday, with me. Oh, Father Riz, I have a question for you. And so she
no.
full on asked, I don't know if it's okay for her to go to a camp because they don't have mass. And he was like, I think if she prays and she's like, and do the readings. But he said it was fine. And then guess what happened? Dad, surprise came up.
Whoa, he surprise came up and
he
did what?
came up to camp and we left to go to mass.
Oh my God.
Because Dad was like, "I'll drive up to Santa Barbara, take you to mass. Sounds great." Maybe Mom suggested it. It was like,
Get
why don't
3
you?
cups of McDonald's coffee on the way. It'll be great.
Oh my God.
So
That's
we
amazing.
left camp for like the
He
day.
signed you out for the day to go to mass and take you to lunch.
And I was like, "Bridget, will you go with me?" Bridget was a good friend. She went with me.
I mean, they really
She was
had
a
their
good friend.
priorities.
A good friend.
Mass was a big
and by the way,
priority.
Mom
That's
did not have an
hilarious.
affair with Coach John. So let's just.
Oh, well, I think that's
make sure we
important
understand
to
that.
make sure.
But no, I mean, it'll be interesting. All these kids graduating and all, and the world is open back up enough that most of these summer programs are available. So it'll be very interesting to hear what everybody does.
Well, I
for
can't
summer.
wait to hear what Ethan agrees to.
I don't know.
Well, last summer when it was like, "Oh, we're still coming off COVID. I'm not going to sign him up for anything." It was like, Lauren was content to be on her iPad all day, which is not great, except for swimming. She liked that. But Morgan, every time you turned around, "Mom, I found this, whatever online. Can we go there and get it? Mom, can we go shopping?" I'm like, I am not a mall person.
Wait a minute. Was there not baking last summer?
There was a lot of requests for shopping,
Okay, sure.
which, we did a little of, but it was not my favorite. So I'm like, you're getting signed up like pretty much all summer. She has some off weeks in between, but she's got a good steady flow of
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but that's what they don't tell you about when you become a parent. You are scheduling your kids' lives and making sure there's a balance of, activities. And I mean, because otherwise, yes. I mean, if they had their druthers, they probably would not do most of those activities. Most kids are not ambitious like you, Virginia. Like, I have found this camp.
Oh my gosh, when I
Because you
asked
know what else? That's what's going to go back to Gary's. The grocery store I worked at, they had a bulletin board. And on the bulletin board, like a community bulletin board, there would be, do you want to learn about dolphins? Do you want to go to the summer camp? Here's the beach bus. And you would, back to our independence, pull off a couple of the tabs. And we'd go make plans. And really, unless we were missing mass, unless there were certain things happening, we kind
Or
of
there was money that needed to happen. Yeah.
we kind of could do whatever we wanted during summer.
Well, money was the factor too, because I was going to say,
I just remember something else I did. Oh, yeah.
I remember asking Mom and Dad if I could take guitar lessons, and it was like, oh shoot, how much does it cost? So I started out with this like.
Was William already playing guitar? Was he your inspiration?
Was.
Okay.
Yes, he had started when he came home on Sundays. He gave me some lessons. I still have his handwriting. I just went through all my guitar music, and I was like, oh, that's Willie's handwriting. So he had started with me, but so there was some old rickety guitar that I started with that didn't have a case. So I had that at first, and all I wanted for Christmas was a case. So I got a case. That was great. And I do remember. So by the way, the Rimsas would occasionally give me a ride home, which they live right next to the school, but they would give me a ride home. And sometimes I was too embarrassed to ask, so I would walk home from St. Mel's holding my guitar.
This is why
I kept having to switch hands because my hand was sore because I couldn't ride my bike with my guitar, so I had to like.
This is literally why when you said guitar and Mom and Dad were hesitant, I'm like, I know now as a parent why they were hesitant. Because, that is not a take and travel instrument. That is like crap. Like, can I play the cello?
Wait.
No.
Are you not bringing up your own child's experience with guitar lessons?
I think I
Okay.
blocked them out.
All right.
Did I try to take guitar lessons?
What? No. Ethan's.
Oh, well, that was in our own house. So at least,
He did?
Yes.
Yeah, you even no. Yeah, you got
Was it like
a call.
electric guitar or something?
No.
It starts with classic guitar. He had an instructor, Allie Angel, who's awesome. But they
okay.
are both, they're almost like their personalities. I would be listening and I'm like, they're just shooting the shit in there. He's charming your ass
There's
off.
no work going on.
Because it's also, you're always like, well, let's do the song that you know. So then you're like, well, I was just talking about the Beatles. And you're like, what are you people doing?
Oh no.
No, he is a, you dog, you got me monologuing.
Well, that's his.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
that's from summer camp. I'm either talking to the counselors or the kids way smaller than me.
Yeah.
And I can totally lord it over, like Morgan and Lauren.
But now I'm inspired to go home. I'm going to look at some of these things I was debating. And I'm just going to have to be the parent. I can bring the hammer down there. Here's some activities. It's just happening.
Oh my gosh, I had to do a spreadsheet to plan summer. No.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
really just a chart in Word document, but I had to do the weeks. And a different column for each girl to figure out.
Are you doing Bible camp?
Lauren and I are.
Now, Katherine, did you ever do vacation Bible camp with us?
Did that even exist?
There was
Yes, Ginny, didn't you go to it? Mom actually
I never heard
was a
about it.
teacher or an instructor of one of them, and it was not close. We had to get up
It
super
was
early
some
and go.
little church, yeah, it was not close.
It was not our Catholic church. It was odd.
I don't remember
Didn't we
where it
take
was.
the
We
Romans
did it at
with
least
us?
twice. Yeah.
Why do we take them?
Because
They wanted something to
I
do.
love my mother-in-law, but I'll rat her out when we get her in here. She was not an organizer. She definitely was not like getting her kids in activities. Mark will be like, "What? Like, how dare I say this?" But if there's anything the Killmonds were willing to take the Roman kids on, it almost didn't matter what it was. Jan was like,
Sure.
"Goodbye," which now as a
Go
mother I
for
completely
it.
get. So yes, they went to Christian like Bible camp with us. It was not Catholic. It was more Christian. And so maybe it was
Probably.
one of Mom's friends who got her to do it. So
I just remember there was homework. You had to memorize something every. I was like, oh god.
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't remember it very
Our schools
clearly,
is
but we
fun.
definitely did it. At least
Ethan did
twice.
the a vacation Bible camp, and then I think starting in the 6th grade, there's really no junior highers in it. Like they all kind of bail.
Well, isn't it
Unless
now?
they're
It's like
counselors.
211. That's the end of the.
Yeah, like Morgan, she wouldn't be a camper this year. She'd have to be a helper, but that's when her overnight camp is. Because
Well,
I was like, you
that's-
can either miss 4th of July or Father's Day or something like that.
What's the overnight camp that she's doing?
Astro camp?
Oh, is that Astro Camp? Sarah did Astro Camp.
She did?
Yeah, she liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it during school though. It was like the
They
whole
have a
4th
year
grade class
program.
or something.
They do. They have a program during the year. That's great.
Yeah.
And Morgan is also doing a week over at our high school in Louisville, which is kind of cool. She'll get to go on campus there.
Yep, that's exciting.
They do a camp there?
They
Yeah.
just started it.
It's only, I think it's like 6th through 8th graders or something. It's like a little window, which is so smart to get
It's to
those
get the girls
in there.
Like, oh, I
Thinking about
feel
it,
comfortable.
yeah.
I like this campus. I'm going to come here.
That is
Yeah.
smart.
So, all right. Well, I'll try to get Ethan signed up for a few more things because I feel like otherwise
He needs it. You need him to do stuff.
I mean, it's a little late, but yeah, sure, go for it.
John, don't be pessimistic.
Hey, he could be my helper. I'll pay him $5 an hour. Come on over, entertain my kids.
we didn't even talk about Dooley Summer Camp.
Oh, someone asked me about that the other day. They're like, "Oh, you can have Ethan again." I was like, "Oh my gosh, that ended so long ago." We had like 2 summers. Even the 3rd summer was like not as many days, but yeah, it was sweet.
He does love hanging with his, girl cousins, but he's a dude now. So like it's
But if he drives you crazy,
In
you just
measure.
be like, "I'm going to drop you off at Gigi's house. Just give him to us for the day. We're gonna swim. We're gonna do something."
yeah, because he loves Minions. So if he can have younger, younger
I was gonna
people
say, there is a
laughing.
new Minions movie.
Oh, he'll go. He'll age down. He's almost like a middle child. He'll try to be cool with his older cousins, her boys, and he'll go younger. And then, his group of friends is sort of the middle ground. So we'll see. I mean, we're in that interesting pocket, lots happening. Like we just went in on campus to the high school.
Oh my god.
And I mean, I was telling John, some of these kids, I'm like, that's not an adult. That's not a
Oh, yeah.
teacher.
Well, you realize later when you see, for me, nieces and nephews go through this, you're like, oh, grade school is this like sort of long period that, seems like it's not that much is going on or whatever. It's like, but by the end, so towards high school, it is now on hyperspeed because through high school to college is like, wait, what? This kid's an adult now? What just happened?
Yeah, it goes really fast.
So part of
that
me is like, I
ending
do
bit.
want him to enjoy his summer. I don't want him to be so overly booked and then go into high school brand new, kind of, exhausted.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I-
needs to relax a little bit.
Are you for real? He needs 2 days. That's it. You're like, he needs a whole summer or he'll be exhausted.
Well, the weeks where my kids don't have camp, I think there's like 3 of them scattered. It's like I definitely want to go to the beach. So
Yes.
we'll let you know.
You got to pack up a good
But he'll
tuna
have to
fish
wake up.
sandwich, and there's just grapes. There's that lunch that you want at the beach that
It always gets sand in it. I always
Oh
felt
God,
like-
you could.
Why
The
are we
great
just talking about the beach and then why are we talking about food? That doesn't even...
It's absolutely part of it, John. Okay.
Well, food goes with like different things for Liz. Like if you say Disneyland, there's something at Dodger
the corn
Stadium.
dog, the hot dog.
Dodger. Okay, so keep going. The
They're both
mall,
hot dog thing.
the commons. You're gonna have a food for everything. So my new go-to for the beach, I love that they're like the adult Lunchables. It's like a little Hillshire farm with like a little toasty piece of bread and good cheese and salami. It's like and some fruit. I'm good.
Oh, you're a little charcuterie at the beach.
Oh my god, yes.
I just
Nice.
always go back to thinking about food in the beach. It's the Frito bag with the chili in it. And Mom would like bring a thermos of chili. You'd get a bag of Fritos and she'd scoop it in there.
Can't
I'm
we
like,
do that
okay.
for your birthday, John? Come on.
we can do that for the summer birthdays for sure.
Well, that goes back
He's like,
to
not mine. Don't make it about me.
Yes.
Well, it goes back to
Correct.
whenever it was hot, Mom would say, let's go over to the beach. Now, that could mean 4 or 5 o'clock, because in the San Fernando Valley, it could be still very hot. And Mom had gotten so burnt out at that point that she would pile us all in, like we said, no seatbelts or whatever. So neighborhood kids would jump in, no one even notice. And we get to the beach.
Well,
and
that's how I got left behind. I was in preschool over at that school over on Dumetz.
Wait. You got left behind where?
At a friend's house.
Oh, gosh. You got left behind the beach.
I totally had a play date after school at like a preschool because I went to that little one on Dumetz. And I remember like hearing like the other mom talk on the phone. She's like, oh, the beach. But you already left.
Oh no, Mom was at the beach.
She totally probably pulled over. Like there was no cell phones. I'm sure she pulled over at a gas station. I don't know when she realized, but she was on some payphone. I'm sure.
Actually, remember this
Oh my gosh.
because Dee Dee was in the car.
Yes, 100%.
And so we thought.
She said that. Yeah.
There was-
We
Counted
did the
heads.
count.
So we.
It was the
Dee Dee,
classic-
my
yeah.
sister-in-law, counted as your head count. It was totally Home Alone, and we also then the younger sibling thought, well, if Dee Dee's here, probably Gigi's here. And then we all get in the car, and then the Gigi's just like, no, I mean, I'm just
Somebody
riding solo.
realized.
I just came with you guys.
I'm like,
and we're like, wait, well, where is she? Where's Virginia? Where's Virginia?
That was my first and last play date at that house, I'm sure. But I remember getting picked up and being like so
The
embarrassed,
mom's like,
okay,
you've been
bye."
here for 8 hours. Get out. All right, well.
God.
All right. So happy summer break. We're not taking a break.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back, Family Dynamics, throughout the summer to entertain you with our family lore and history. So we'd love you to subscribe, like, follow our Patreon. I'm sure we'll have some stories, probably summer related, that would be better on Patreon. And leave a comment or review, right? Did I cover everything?
on all of our social, which is Family DynamiKs with a K.
And thank you for coming in, Virginia.
It was fun. Bye.
Thanks for listening.